Hey mamas, you're listening to the Balanced Working Mama podcast, the only podcast teaching you how to balance your work, motherhood, and wellness. I am Dr. Amber Thornton, clinical psychologist and mama wellness consultant. Each week we dive into tips and strategies and much more so that you too can become a balanced working mama. Let's dive in. All right, so I see Christina in here. I'm going to let her join and we are going to go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. This is so exciting. I'm so excited. Okay. Hey.
I think it's, look, happy today. I'm like, I think it's Thursday, but
right. I don't even know. Right. Whatever today is. Happy almost Friday. That's basically what it is.
Happy Friday Eve, everyone. Welcome.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to talk to you. I feel like so we'll talk about this tonight, but I feel like ever since you and I really got connected, I talk to you frequently. I don't know if you feel like that, but I feel like I talk to you often.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's just we just keep overlapping, and it's a beautiful thing, which we'll talk about more later, I'm sure, a little bit. But I'm grateful. It's very rare that I come across other people who can really understand the scope of what I do.
Yeah.
And obviously what we're doing is not identical, but there's some overlap there. And
right.
We have a lot in common. And again, as a service provider, a business owner, but also as a person, I mean, we have so much in common. So it's important to have that connection. Yeah.
Agreed. Well, I'm super grateful for you. Our collaboration, which we'll talk about a little bit, because you are going to play a role in our community starting in January. So we'll definitely talk about that. But before we start, let's just do some introductions. And so I feel like most people probably know who I am. I'm Dr. Amber. I am clinical psychologist, creator of Balanced Working Mama. And Balanced Working Mama, our mission and our passion is to help millennial moms to find the balance and wellness in motherhood. And this is important because motherhood is tiring.
Yep.
I'll say it one more time. Motherhood is exhausting. And, even outside of that, I think for many, many generations, mothers, especially Black moms, we have been told and seen motherhood being something that requires a lot of self-sacrifice. We've seen that your measure of a mother has a lot to do with how much you are giving up yourself, even at the expense of your own needs. And that's something that we just don't want to do anymore. And so Balanced Working Mama is really helping millennial moms just like us, to rewrite that narrative a little bit, where it's like, yes, of course, we love our families, we love our children, we love our kids, and we're trying to find what balance looks like and find the wellness so that we can feel happy, healthy, thrive in this life. So that is what we're all about. And Coach Christina, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, I'll do a quick intro. Hello again to everyone who signed on, and those of you who are going to be watching the playback. I am Coach Christina. Some of you guys know me by my IG handle at Coach Mom Wife Life. I am a wife. I am a mother of three. I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a now 10-month-old. Just turned 10 months old. We're done having kids, by the way. In case y'all wondering, this is it. This is the squad. We're done. Three's enough. But I'm also the founder of J2M Fitness, Journeys Motherhood Fitness, and similarly to what you just said, I wanted to make sure that I had a fitness approach that really works well for moms who need more than just, here's a workout, here's a meal guide, good luck. So it's a lot to put into one sentence, but the short version is essentially fitness coaching meets life coaching. And so, again, we have some things in common, but different expertise. And so that's why I'm really excited to work with you. But the work that I do, again, is way deeper than just here's the exercises. I get into a lot of lifestyle, health coaching, mindset coaching. I get into all the reasons why women are struggling to be consistent, some of what seems like the small stuff that moms struggle with. I get into all of that. And, even what you mentioned right now about as moms, us understanding how to take care of ourselves, there's a lot of learning and unlearning that's involved when you're trying to start a fitness journey that most women don't really even understand or, know where to begin. It's kind of like, oh, I'm just going to put in the schedule and I'll be good to go. And I'm like, you can do what you want to do, but I don't think that's what, like, I don't want to do that. So, again, life coaching and fitness married together to make sure that people can actually not only work how to reach their goals, and, clients getting good results was really important. You want to get snatched, cool, but also, can we get your whole life snatched together? Can we get this to where working out feels good and you feel energized? And, it's a part of just everyday care. You're feeling your body, you're feeling good. So I don't want to ramble forever, but anyway, we do a lot of good stuff. Is the point.
You do. I mean, you really do. And I think that kind of goes into what I wanted to make sure we talk about is how we have been connected and, what our work is going to look like in the Balanced Working Mama community. You and I connected because of a mutual client. I don't know if Nicole was watching, but hey, girl.
She set us up. I know. Like, what's going on?
Right. So that's how we got connected, because I remember Nicole was a part of our Empower Wellness program. And then also Nicole was working with you in J2 and Fitness. And actually, Nicole is going to be a part of this launch tour as well. So I will talk to Nicole in a few weeks. I can't remember the exact date. But I remember she reached out to me and she was like, hey, you need to follow her because I work with her in fitness and I love both of y'all. And so I think y'all should do something together. And I don't know if that's how she reached out to you about this, but that's what she said to me. And I was like, okay.
And that sounds like her. And one thing about Nicole, I hope you watch Nicole. I ain't watch Payback. She's not going to lie to you. So I knew when she was like, you need to connect, I was like, I probably should go ahead and just, I don't want to just slide in the DMs and welcome, but I was like, if Nicole said it, then, she's going to tell you 100. Like, this is, she's going to tell you how it is,
Exactly.
She's good people. And I've had the pleasure of working with her at different phases of her fitness journey. And she was just telling me at one point, like, I really love what you're doing. I also had time to work with Dr. Thornton, and she pointed out, again, because there's some things that I don't get into. They're not in my scope. Like, I stay in my lane. And some of the things she needed, I was in the same way that if a mom comes to me that, for example, is like doing pelvic floor therapy, for example, keep going to pelvic floor therapy, but I will make sure your program is tailored to support what you're doing with your physical therapy, right? So same thing. She's like, I'm doing this program because I'm like, cool, do that. And it just works really well though, because when moms have different types of support, I feel like everyone wins, and that's why I'm excited to definitely collab. But yeah, Nicole's gonna tell you how it is, and she bragged about you, and I was like, let me go ahead and just send a message and see.
Yeah, I mean, and she did the same thing about you, and so that's why I was like, I knew I needed to like connect with you, but then also collaborate with you as well, because like you said, Nicole's going to tell the truth, and so I was like, all right, let me follow this person, and I really enjoyed what you were doing, and so. Well, I guess we can maybe kind of share a little bit about how you're going to be collaborating with us in our community in January. So for anyone who is still trying to learn and understand what's happening with our community, Balanced Working Mama is opening a virtual wellness community for moms in January. We actually will open our doors officially January 1st. And so right now, what you can do, you can go to the website. I know, I'm so excited. Like, this has been a thought in my brain for months. And I've been planning and really getting things going. And so January 1 is when we'll actually officially open. And so I've lost my train of thought. Where was I going with this? Oh, okay. So January 1st is when we'll open our doors, and our community is all about prioritizing you, your needs, your wellness, your well-being. And this community is going to be so unique because, as you all probably know, there are several motherhood communities. We're not going to lie. This is not the first community, but I do believe our community is unique because our point, our passion, our mission is really to truly get you to a place where you're always prioritizing your own wellness and your own well-being. And so a lot of mom communities are centered around mothering and parenting. That'll be a part of what we talk about every now and then if you want to, but truly our community is, our goal is to help push you to a place where you're always feeling good, just really feeling good, knowing that you're living well, thriving, you feel well as a mom. And that is what we're doing. And so I'm so happy, Christina, that you're going to be collaborating with us in our as we open our community. And so, with the community, the goal is to have myself within the community to help push the mamas along, but then also we'll always have another person who has some expertise with regard to well-being. And Christina, you were just the perfect person to come and join us for January. And so maybe let's talk a little bit about what that collaboration is going to look like. Should I start or you?
It's up to you. It's up to you. I wanted to just, thought it might be good to clarify too when you say that this community is unique, because like you said, there are so many mom communities, and even in terms of what you're doing, what I'm bringing to the table, how we're collaborating. I think one thing people should understand that's different about the community that you're putting together is, if you want to rephrase it, let me know. But this is kind of what I think about when I have my coaching hat on. Like, we're talking about actual solutions and changes and being proactive, and not in a way that is saying that everything's our responsibility in a negative way, but in an empowering way. I think a lot of us kind of think about self-care as being a burden, like, oh, I got it. Let's be real, we have stuff to do, right? So whether it's, what do you want to call it, self-care, exercise, whatever things come to mind, right? It kind of gets a bad rep, like, well, moms don't even have time for these things. We don't have time to shower, so stop telling us to do these things. But the reality is, when you take that shower, you have the energy to do other things, right? So again, I think one of the things that drew me to you in your work, and when you asked me to come on board, I was like, yes, is because communities are cool. Talking about how you feel, and again, that's more of your lane than me, because that's a whole different scope. But it's one thing to talk through things, nothing to actually have a plan of action. And I'm excited about that. When you were just saying, like, what do I bring to the table with the collaboration? I'm all about some actions. Like, I'm the kind of person, I will let my clients talk, vent, and then I'm like, okay, so are we ready for the next phase? Let's get it out, and then now let's go to work, not in a negative way, but just like, okay, we have a choice. We can either continue to do what's not working over and over and over and over and over, which again, it's not about adding to your plate. It's just understanding that, look, if you're burned out all the time, it's not making you a better mom.
Yeah.
So you keep telling yourself, I got to do more. Doing more hasn't worked, so why keep doing the same thing? So I'm excited because I know that with the work that you're doing, again, not only are you having a community, but moms are going to get really good information, really good solutions, and they're going to know week by week, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, or this is what I'm working on, that I'm reflecting on these things.
Absolutely. And I thank you for kind of drawing that out, because I think you're right. I tend to be very solution oriented when I'm working with mamas, especially in the Empower Wellness program. Like, the core of that program is like identifying what you need and then us figuring out how you get it. And so that is absolutely the case. And I know that that's your thing too. Like, okay, yes, cool. We could talk about this. We could all, commiserate in the struggle. And then what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do about it? And so that is, again, I think it's hard to do that within community, because communities can get really large. There can be a lot of voices, but again, within our community, we're always going to be focused on, like, okay, yes, these are the challenges. Yes, these are the things that we all can kind of relate upon in one another. We're going to talk about these things. We're going to discuss these things. And what are we going to do? What are going to be our action steps? One of my big goals within the community is to always have something that we're focusing on each month in terms of just kind of bringing things to awareness. So for instance, January of the community will really be like us getting to know each other and us just kind of like being introduced to the group and everything. But then February, I really want to dive in there and really start to help mamas understand what balance actually means. Because in Balanced Working Mama, balance is something that's completely different. Balance is not trying to juggle everything, trying to do more. We think about balance in a completely different way. And so in February, we're really going to start diving into that all as a community, and really having things to be thinking about on a daily basis, but then also like action items, action steps, like, goals. Like we're going to really like go in and not pushing ourselves too much, but definitely challenging ourselves for sure. But again, I'm so excited for your piece because, as you all know, anybody who follows me, y'all know I love exercise. I love fitness. Like, within wellness, there are, again, within Balanced Working Mama, we have 9 areas of wellness, and physical health is one of them, but it's truly my favorite because I know that for me, when my physical body is well, I feel like I can do anything. And so I'm so glad to bring you in because what I've noticed is that a lot of the mamas that are interested in Balanced Working Mama also have an interest in really getting their physical health in order. And so what I'm so happy that you're going to bring this area of expertise in helping mamas to, like you said, not only like doing the fitness, but like figuring out, okay, well, what do we need to do up here to be prepared to do the fitness? And so can you speak more a little bit to what that might look like?
Absolutely. So in this collaboration, I'll be definitely focusing more on like the mindset lifestyle coaching. So this is not going to be about doing a Zoom workout. Not that it's a bad thing, no shade.
We're not going to do that.
But people like to get Zoom workouts on, that's fine. But that's not what I'm doing. Okay, this is moms who are like, I've tried the Zoom workouts, I've tried the boot camp, I've gone to the gym, I've tried working at home, whatever your scenario is, it doesn't matter. My goal is to make sure that, number one, we understand where you are. Okay, like right now today, where's the reality of where you are? Okay, what are your goals? How do we actually map out goals? Okay, because a lot of the air we have is like what do you want to do? I want to get fit. And you're like, okay, so are we talking about energy? Are we talking about the size, the way? Like everyone's different in terms of how they define success, right? So, like me personally, I want clients to understand that there's a variety of ways to measure their progress, their success, to understand, again, not only just how to put a plan into place, but is it sustainable for you?
Yeah.
We don't put enough energy on that, especially as moms. And again, for those of you who didn't hear my intro, I am a mom of 3. So I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 10-month-old. And I love working out. Okay, I love getting my workout on. I'm going to get it done. But the days of me working out 6 days a week for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, they're gone. What days? Like I don't have time to do all that. And again, I love working out and working fitness. Ooh, yeah, that's great. But I got stuff to do. I have kids, a husband, a household, so I can't just come and go when I want to and be in the gym for hours. So again, if I'm being honest too, it's like having your realistic standards. Some of it is also adjusting expectations. Like we said earlier, I'm learning some things. A lot of moms right now are struggling. You say like the mindset piece. Some of us are struggling because we have determined in our minds that if we're not doing what we did before we have our kids, that we're not doing the right thing. It's almost like, well, I used to go to 5 a.m. boot camps before I had my kids. So I got to start forcing myself to do that. Then I'll get used to it and I'll be successful. And really, I'm like, no, we need to take all that, throw it away, and get a clean sheet of paper, and we're going to start from what works today. And so that's the kind of work I'm going to be doing in the community to make sure moms really understand, okay, let's actually be realistic, create some new expectations, again, put some solutions in place that work for you, what's sustainable for you, and have an actual plan of action that fits your lifestyle. Because it does you no good to just force stuff on your to-do list. It looks good. Right. You can color code it all you want to, but if that workout time is not working for you, then it's just going to be sitting there, and then you're getting frustrated. A lot of the frustration comes from, again, expectations, but sometimes we're just forcing things, and the more we force, things start getting defeated. It kind of becomes a little sabotage. Again, got to different talks a different day, but there's a lot of, expectations, sabotages, some habits that be broken, right? So again, they're the things that they seem so small, like, oh, okay, well that's not a big deal. I'll just put on my calendar. You can do what you want to do, but again, you have to be real. If you haven't slept in 3 years, you're trying to force this 5 a.m. boot camp. I mean, you can do what you want to do, but again, we got to be real. So the work I'm doing is going to be all the little stuff people think is not a big deal. Let's talk about it, because that tends to be what is actually holding moms back from not only starting a plan and creating a plan, but being able to follow it through. And even when you say you like working out, we know that you don't play when it comes to having a schedule on the plan and being realistic. You're doing all those things, right? And so we want to make sure that moms have those tools too.
Yeah. Definitely. And I can see that so many of you all are resonating with what we're talking about, like keeping things sustainable, making sure it's realistic, setting good, healthy habits, not forcing it. Like that stuff really matters. And again, in our community, like Christina said, like there's a place for Zoom workouts. Like that's cool. But what we're going to do is make sure that you are in a place where you actually can sustain the type of work that you want to do. And I think that's the thing that many times, like you said, we kind of gloss over that part. It's like, oh, I want to work out and I want to start at 5 days a week. It's like, all right, but what are the things we need to address up here first? Or like in here, like we've got to do all these things first. And so that's why I'm really, really, really pushing for, like, if you all are interested in our community, please, please, please become a founding member. And what founding membership is essentially anybody who joins us in January, because we'll open our doors January 1st. It will remain open for 7 days. Literally 1 week, and then we will shut it down. And whoever's in our community, you all are our founding members. And what founding membership is essentially you're the first group to get our community started. And there's a lot of benefit to that, because one, you get to actually connect very deeply with the other mamas in the community, because it'll be small at that point. But also you get to help just kind of guide the community. I'll be asking for a lot of feedback from you all about, well, did you like this session? Did you like this? Do you all like the way we're doing this? And if you don't like it, give me the feedback and we can switch things up. But also there's some other really dope things. One, you get to have this access to Christina in this moment, because it sounds like in the very beginning, she's really going to help lay the foundation for how do you get to a point where you're creating a workable, sustainable, consistent workout routine for you. And so you have to do that stuff before you can actually start it. And so you get the benefit of actually hearing those things from Christina in our community when you start and join us in January. There's some other really cool perks to being a founder member too. One of the big ones is that you all have access to our wellness assessment. And that is a tool that we use in the Empower Wellness program, where essentially you take our assessment, you answer 28 questions, then you get your own individualized report of your areas of wellness, and there are 9 of them. So you get to see, like, okay, in this area I'm strong, in this area I need some help. And you all will get to do that when you first join at 6 months, and then again at 12 months. So that is huge. We don't.
This happened. Like, I'm ready to start this. What was the aha moment for you when you're like, I got to start putting this stuff together and creating this space for mom?
Yeah. Ooh, it's so many. I think it all evolved over time. And I was telling someone else this the other day. I think the initial thing for me was when I became a mom. And even before that, I think I just always grew up seeing, honestly, my mom work extremely hard as a wife and a mom. And she didn't get the help she needed. She didn't really have all the support that I felt like she really needed. She didn't get to take care of herself in the ways that we do now. And so seeing that, I always knew, like, if I become a mom, because part of me was like, I don't want anything to do with it if it has to be like this. But I knew, like, if I become a mom, it has to be different. And so, it really started with me kind of figuring out like, okay, I'm going to become a mother. How do I do this and still stay true to myself, stay true to all the parts of me that feel good? Like, for instance, I've always loved working out. I've always loved exercise. I knew that there was no way I could be somebody's mama and not be working out, because that would just devastate me. It would take away from me. And I didn't want that. I always knew that I was really passionate about my career and about doing things like this. And so it was like, how do I become a mom and still keep these parts of me alive? And so when I became a mom, I started to then notice that other women were still struggling with this. And so it was like, oh no, like I know I'm working really hard on this. I've got to do something to help other women work on this too. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it truly was. And that's how the Empower Wellness program came about. It was me wanting to create a space where other moms just like me could do motherhood, but do it differently in a way that helped to prioritize ourselves. And then from there, Empower Wellness program was just dope. And all of y'all kept telling me like, hey, it's 6 weeks, it's too short. And so that's where the community came. It's like, okay, how can I make it so that it doesn't end in 6 weeks? How do I make it so that we can add more mamas to our situation or the program? And it just kind of be like this ever evolving thing that doesn't have to end. And that's how the community came about. So those were kind of like the points for me where it's like, okay, I've got to do something for me. It's like, all right, I'm doing this. Now I've got to do something for other moms, because I heard it around me. Like, we're really struggling. And I think the thing. Hey, mama. Thank you for listening to the Balanced Working Mama podcast. If you love this podcast, please be sure to rate it and share it with another mama that you know. And don't forget to follow me and Balanced Working Mama on Instagram. I'll talk to you soon.